We've all heard that revenge is a dish best served cold. But what if that revenge comes from an honest to God accident? Can vengeance ever be put to rest without rampant death and destruction in its wake? Ask Ryu, a recently fired factory worker who concocts a scheme to kidnap a wealthy executive's little girl so he can get money to pay for his dying sister's operation. A horrific accident occurs, forever changing Ryu's life and the life of the little girl's father, Mr. Park, and forcing the audience to choose a side between two men who become monsters. All this and more in the 2002 Korean crime thriller Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. I'm Connor Eyzaguirre.
And I'm Austin Johnson.
And this is Filmgazm. Happy Wednesday, boys and girls. This is the Filmgazm podcast, and you're listening to episode 105, another foreign film sent to us from the Book of Filmgazm. If you enjoy this podcast and want to see it evolve into something even better, feel free to donate anything you want to us. Every little bit goes right back into the show and allows us to make the show better. If you want to donate, head to the Filmgazm podcast page on whatever your podcast platform is. Click on support this podcast in the description. Thank you very much. Anything is appreciated. We love doing this, and we hope you love hearing us do this. So spread the love.
Much obliged.
Now, thank you very much. Let's go into the rewind. I've got one update today. Again, on episode 20, The Godfather, making a lot of rounds lately. Apparently, there is a film in the works that tells the story of the making of The Godfather. Don't confuse that with the upcoming HBO Max series about the making of The Godfather that we discussed a few weeks back. This film is titled Francis and the Godfather. It's being helmed by Barry Levinson and will star Oscar Isaac as Francis Ford Coppola and Jake Gyllenhaal as producer Robert Evans. The film is in early development and it's going to tell the tumultuous story of how The Godfather came about. I feel like we literally just talked about this because HBO Max is doing the same thing.
Yeah. It's definitely a trend right now to do this sort of thing and tell stories about the making of this, but with Oscar Isaac playing Francis, it's kind of like, yeah, I'm down, I'm in. And obviously Jake Gyllenhaal is one of my favorites. So, why not? I like, it's kind of for the nerds like us, to get a glimpse into this world and see what was going on. So why not?
Yeah, every time they do this, I seem to love it. Hitchcock, My Week with Marilyn. It's a cool way to kind of see into film history. And, of course, it's going to be, leaning towards a certain mindset. That's every biopic does that. No biopic is 100% honest, but we love seeing this thing, and any excuse to go back into The Godfather.
Oh, for sure. And I think fans as a whole, especially us, have to thank the film. They have to thank Tarantino and the film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because I think this is going to start a new trend of kind of diving into certain eras of Hollywood. And I think Tarantino made that something that could be really popular, right?
Yeah.
Again, to kind of revisit this era, and certainly what he was visiting was 1969, and Godfather is obviously just a few years after that. So I'm always down to kind of get a glimpse into the late 60s and 70s, because that's when film was really, really changing. So yeah, it's why not, right? Especially when you have a cool cast.
Exactly, and a good director in Barry Levinson.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
So
go for it.
You'll see where this goes. Weigh it against the HBO Max series and see who did it better.
Yeah.
So, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance is the first installment of director Chan-wook Park's thematically connected Vengeance trilogy, with 2003's Old Boy and 2005's Lady Vengeance following. Prior to this, I think we'd both seen Old Boy, which is definitely Park's masterpiece, I would say.
Yeah.
But Sympathy I thought was far better than critics seem to think. This was a pretty big failure in Korea when it came out.
Yeah, quite frustrating. Doesn't have very good scores, Rotten Tomatoes and all this and that. I completely, disregarded that about 10 minutes in, just by the sheer tempo and the cinematography itself. This film is gorgeous, the way it moves, and then the actual content is, it contains a lot of bite. And I love when movies do that, or when art does that, when it kind of displays beauty, but so you can't really take your eyes off the screen. But at the same time, what you're watching is not really morally good at all. Yeah, I had a blast with it. I definitely am going to watch Lady Vengeance soon, just to go ahead and round it out. I might revisit Old Boy too, because it's been a while, and I really like that one.
Yeah, good luck with that, because weirdly, the week we were going to do this, it got taken off Shudder along with Old Boy and Lady Vengeance.
Oh, well, Lady Vengeance is on Criterion right now.
True, but Old Boy's not. Old Boy's disappeared.
I can find Old Boy somehow. I have a buddy who owns it.
I just think it's weird. Like, the timing of that sucks.
Yeah, that's frustrating. Yeah, but it's one you can find. It's definitely the most popular of the three.
Yeah.
And it's the one that most people have seen, obviously, including you and I, until now.
And Chan-wook Park, I think I mentioned in my review, few directors can do just unforgiving, violent, like, revenge as good as Chan-wook Park. I mean, that man has a depraved mind when it comes to just the way people act, the way people think. His films are so violent and so horrific. Like, the worst possible thing that can happen is going to happen in a Chan-wook Park film.
Yeah, and that's kind of Korean cinema is kind of, that's their specialty, is they're able to make you extremely uncomfortable while carrying you through the story that's somehow amazing. Like, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance is, when I explained it to a friend at work today. When I explained it all, I was just like, good God, it's just, just devastation after devastation after devastation. But I couldn't stop watching for over 2 hours. I don't know how to explain it. And there's just a certain way, and it's a freedom that they've had for so long, in Europe and in Asia, whereas here we weren't able to do these kinds of things, and a lot of directors are scared to do these kinds of things in movies where it's just complete devastation, because it's not going to do well, financially here in the United States, and it's not going to do financially in most places. But there is an audience for it, and we're definitely a part of that audience. You just have to be well aware of what you're going into, because it's very dark and unforgiving is the best way to describe it, right?
Yeah, there is no redemption in a Chan-wook Park film. Like, what you see is just going to get worse. And
yeah,
it's hard to relate to anybody. It's hard to root for anybody, because everyone is just such a monster.
Yeah.
And you were saying about how, like, American films don't really have that bite because most directors are afraid to go there. I know that for years, I was hesitant into jumping into Asian horror for that exact reason, because I know that there are no lines they won't cross, and things get real fucky really fast. And after we've done, on this show, we've done Audition and Itchy the Killer. We've tapped into that, and I would say that it's true very much. And I learned with this and Old Boy that it's not just restrained to horror. Every genre, they're going to go as far as they need to go.
Yeah, this is called, on IMDb, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance is called a crime drama thriller. And it just, in comparison to what we have over here, like in the Western part of the world, it's just, our thrillers are not nearly, they don't have the same grit. Like something like, even like a film I love that I think has a lot of grit, crime thriller like Zodiac. Awesome, and has a lot of oomph, but few and far between. This movie is like, it's bam, bam, bam. Every few moments, you're seeing something that's extremely painful and tough, and can cause nightmares. I'll say there is a scene that I actually thought about in my sleep where I was like, oh fuck, and like kind of woke me up. Like there was a part of this movie that did that to me, and we'll get into that later. There's a lot of bang 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 in this movie though, and I'm excited to kind of go through it. I really hope the folks out there who maybe are listening just to haven't seen the film or just given a listen. I hope you are aware of what you're going into, because it's tough. It's tough stuff. You pointed out Audition, Takashi Miike, Korean, Japanese directors, it's Asia all across the board. There's just a different kind of freedom and liberation through these kinds of genre films. And it's pretty powerful, man. It's pretty powerful stuff. I'll say I really, really enjoyed this movie. I want to say that out front. It's hard to kind of be honest about that, but this is what we do on Filmgazm, right? We take the genre films, we take the ones that are tough to talk about, and we talk about them. So yeah. I'm excited to do that today.
And I'm going to do something. I'm going to connect this to something we've been talking about a lot on Oscar Sunday.
Yes.
So you mentioned the freedom that filmmakers have had in Asia, and I would say that
Europe.
I think it all comes back, like America's restrictions towards things like this, their hesitation. I think it all goes back to the goddamn Hays Code. I think 30 years of film restriction, it watered us down. It neutered us. It made film directors, unable to go there. So now we're like 30 years behind where we should be in film.
100%. So yeah, 100%. You can see it. It's in waves, right? And you can see it as far as, big popular films go. And you can see the guys who got popular in the 90s were obviously watching stuff from the 60s and 70s. So it continues and moves along. And we are behind. We're well behind, and we have a lot of like growing up to do in the sense of maturing as like a cinematic culture. Because how many American masterpieces are there within the past 10, 20 years? A few come to my mind as like personal favorites, but how many true masterpieces have come out in the, 10, 15 years here in America? I don't know. You can probably count them on your, a couple hands, probably. Whereas that's just not the case for prior decades for other countries and the United States. And I hope there's, new waves, right? There's new waves where new decades just kind of do stuff that's different. And man, we have a lot of work to do as far as when we give an R rating, it's got to be fair game, it really needs to be. And, you watch movies like this and I imagine Tarantino even wants to go a little bit darker than he does in his films. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you can see how these kinds of films, these foreign films, you've read all the time, they inspire guys like Tarantino, and you can see it. You're like, oh my God, the abruptness, and the violence and the quick dialogue. I just wish there was, it's going to come with time, but I think normalizing it and being comfortable with just talking about genre films, that's just part of it.
Films that are willing to go this far in America tend to not be very successful, tend to be very underground.
Yes.
They're just, a lot of filmmakers, they have to kowtow to producers and production companies, and they have to make these sacrifices for the sake of, having their vision realized. And that's a damn shame. But because of that, the film ends up being not as strong as it might have been. And that happens way too often. And I would think that from what I've seen in Korea, at least, there's not a lot of that. There's a lot of filmmakers being trusted to deliver the product because it's their world, it's their domain, it's their story. So, they're going to do it. They're going to do it right. And I wish that freedom was allotted to more filmmakers in America.
Yeah, most certainly. And some of the guys that we've talked about on this show and Oscar Sunday, David Lynch, David Fincher, these are guys that we know that have had movies get fucked up because of, production companies. Alfred Hitchcock is a guy who's famous who battled production companies all, throughout his career. It's just, that's the kind of the game. But these directors, these like kind of mainstream, directors in Asia and the eastern part of the world they're fucking crazy, man. Takashi Miike is another guy. I just, along with Park, they got a lot of crazy stuff going on in their mind. And I think there's just obviously a place for it in cinema. And, we need to open that up more here in the States.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, it looks like we are going in that direction. We are starting to have a lot more freedom in American storytelling. And I think a lot of that comes from, the more availability for indie filmmakers to do their own thing, streaming services. There's a lot more avenues for all this shit. So we're getting there. We're close.
For sure. Well, yeah, I mean, Parasite winning Best Picture at the Oscars, obviously a Korean film, Bong Joon-ho. It's like a genre bender. It's got a few moments of, if you haven't seen it at this point, shame on you. It's got the moment where the rock smashes the kid's head. I mean, whoa. It's got basically a slasher scene where the guy finally gets out, grabs the knife off the table in the kitchen and runs outside in the backyard and stabbing people. Whoa, 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 whoa. That won Best Picture, So yeah, for sure it's changing. We just want it to change more and more. And these kinds of conversations is what's going to help it, normalize it. It's okay to, in context, and when you are aware, it's okay to say, I love Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. You just can't, you're not going to compare it to, fucking The English Patient or something. It's got to be in context.
True. I mean, this isn't the kind of film I'd throw on at a party. I mean, I'm going to.
No, exactly. Exactly. It's, but there's obviously an audience. And I'm really glad that the book allowed us to go here. Right.
Praise be.
Yeah. I like going to the foreign films, man. All hail the magic book.
It's amazing. We've personally picked maybe 4 episodes in the past year because of this book. It's fucking great. Like most of what we do is not, planned. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, exactly. It's beautiful.
Oh. So, we won't talk a lot about the cast because frankly, we're not that well versed in Korean cinema. We're not going to really have a lot to talk about with these guys' careers, but I do want to talk about Mr. Kang Ho Song.
Yeah, of course, right? I mean, we just talked about Parasite, and he's playing the dad in that movie, and oh man, the boy has got some chops, and he's in The Host, he's in Snowpiercer, he's Bong Joon-ho's go-to guy. I really, really, really like him. What's your favorite performance of his?
Probably this one, actually. I think Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, he was on a different level. I mean, he's not even involved in this kid's life. But he has his life completely destroyed because this shit kidnapped his daughter, and the lengths he goes to, he completely shuts himself off to, I'm going to kill everyone involved in this. And you get it. Like, yeah, that's exactly what I would do. If I had a kid and this happened, I would want to murder everybody who did it.
100%. But it also, one way I kind of interpreted it was like, this father was not in the child's life, and so once the child is gone, it's kind of like they don't miss you until you're gone. They never miss you till you're dead or you're gone. That whole phrase. I thought about that a lot, where he sees the picture of him with Ryu and Ryu's girlfriend or Rio's sister, sorry, and you see those pictures and whatnot, and it's like, oh man, like he's looking at that because he might not even have some of these photos of his own, right? Because he wasn't there. He wasn't present in the little girl's life. The little girl was like clearly enjoying herself with these people. It's just like eating at him. So if he were a great father and he were awesome, it would make even more sense that he was like, oh no, like, I'm going to go John Wick on this shit, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the fact that he was a bad dad makes it kind of complex, where it's like, oh man, he's trying to somehow avenge something because he was not even present in her life and she's gone. So he has no chance to become a good dad. So he's like, fuck it. And, there's that major scene, where we're told what's going to happen, but so much is happening and then so much follows it that you kind of forget. And then the ending happens and you're like, oh, damn, like no forgiveness, no redemption. It's over, just straight. It's one of those straight up game over movies where that's it. Just evil and death win.
True. But even, on that journey, there's slivers of hope. And because nobody intended anything like this to happen. Everything that happens in this movie is a complete fucking accident. But your perceptions of right and wrong kind of change throughout this movie. Like, what are you willing to accept from who I would say becomes, I think the protagonist and the antagonist get switched halfway through this movie. Because at first you're like, okay, Ryu is going to get, he's going to kidnap this girl. It's bad, but he's doing it for the right reasons. But then as soon as she dies, we're now following Park and his quest for revenge. And Ryu kind of becomes the bad guy. But I think you can kind of flip either way and make your own decision. Like who's at fault here?
That's the thing though. Like to me, there is no, it's gray. It's just a gray. It's just death took over. Death won here.
Yeah.
Especially when we see the group of people at the end of the movie leave in the van, and you're like, we don't know who they are. We don't know their names. That's just death, and they just won. They just walked off, and the credits start rolling, and it's like there is no like, even in a film like Jaws, like that I adore with all of my heart. But one of the reasons I love it is that Quint dies. Is that the three guys that go on the journey to find this fucking shark and take it down, only two of them return. I like that decision that, you're gonna have to pay for it though. To deal with this monster, to deal with death, you're gonna have to fucking pay for it. This movie takes that to the extreme that it's just straight up eye for an eye. It's like if you put your poker chip in, well, the other guy is too. Like that's it. There is no like, but they weren't paying attention there. And I even thought of a film like Menace to Society, where it's just like bam, bam, devastation. You're not going to win. You might think that you got away, but no, you didn't. There's still someone coming after you. Karma's a bitch.
Yeah. And I love that Park goes that far. I mean, it's not, he's not looking for justice. He wants these fuckers dead, and he wants to do it. And it's not, it's not a bullet in the head. It is harsh, horrific torture for Ryu and his girl. I mean, holy shit. And, those are the people you're following for the first half of the movie. These are the people you see, lose their job and, try to save, Ryu tries to save his sister. Like you relate to these people. I would argue you like these people.
Yeah, and to an extent for sure. Especially, he's Ryu is deaf and mute, right? And you're seeing the job he has, and it's a piece of shit job, and you're like, oh man, like I just want something. I want something to happen for this guy, right? Like I want him to get a break. You see him, some of the shots of their apartment, and him just like eating soup. I thought were amazing shots. And that's just stuff I really, really like when you're watching foreign films, because you get a good look at a perspective on, what do the flats look like? What do the streets look like? All this stuff. And this movie does a really good job of just putting you right into, this setting. And I really like that. I agree, man. I think the first, I want to say 40 minutes or so, I'm on Ryu's side. I'm mostly rooting for Ryu. I want him to figure some stuff out.
And I think also a lot of it is you don't know Park. You don't know who he is. He's a friend of Ryu's boss. Like they only decide to kidnap his daughter after they realize they're going to be the first suspects if Ryu's boss's daughter goes missing. So that decision to have that disconnect and to just completely like infiltrate somebody who's never done anything wrong to you, to do that to them, it really takes you away from Ryu and puts you in Park's corner. But then once Park embraces just like, electrocuting the girl and slicing Ryu's feet, like fucking hell, man. It's hard to root for somebody who would go that far. But, then in the end, when he gets killed by those, that terrorist organization, good Lord, I can't believe that was real. But when that happens, again, you feel bad for Park. Your emotions are really fucking toyed with this movie. It's really hard to know what, like, are you right? Are you wrong? Like, what happened?
And I know that you're a big fan of, like, you're a storyteller yourself and you're a writer yourself. So when it comes to the story within, and you're trying to grapple with, well, at the end of the day, who was I supposed to root for? Like I really don't think there is an answer. There really, and that's why I kind of love this movie, is that it forces you to not make a decision, because there is no decision to be made. you're as the viewer, you're kind of fucked, just like the characters. And I like when movies do that, kind of put you put you in a place like, I'm going to fuck with you for 2 hours. I know I'm distracting you and you're just going to sit through it because it looks really good. I love movies that do that. The Coens are masters of that. David Fincher is a master of that. Just kind of piecing scene by scene, boom, 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 and creeping you out. That's kind of my thing, So when it's taken to this extreme where there really, really is no answer, I kind of love it.
And it's weird because usually I hate an ending that comes out of nowhere, but I fucking loved this ending. It was just so perfect. It made such sense for this story. Nobody gets away with revenge. Revenge will destroy anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There's no good way. There's no good path towards that kind of vengeance. And
yeah, man. Yeah, when Park, like you said, he cuts Ryu's like Achilles tendon on both sides and lets him bleed out underwater, mind you. That really, really, really unsettled me, and I had a nightmare about that. I had a nightmare that my Achilles tendon was cut.
Wow.
Yeah. And I woke up immediately and like I had to get into a different position where the rest of the night while I slept because I was like, I need to be close to my feet. Like,
wow, man.
Yeah, it was crazy. And so then when that happens, I immediately thought, I was like, was she fucking with him when she said 100% terrorist group, my terrorist group's going to kill you 100%. It's for your own good. And then he electrocutes the shit out of her while he's looking at the picture of them. I was like, was that real? And then sure enough, these guys come up, fucking Jon Snow style, just boom, just stabbing the shit out of him.
Dude,
and then
the sound design
straight to the heart. Yeah.
The fucking knife in the chest. The sound design there was like, I jumped.
Like, oh my God. Yeah. No, it's a brutal scene. And again, reminding me of the scene in Zodiac right by the lake, broad daylight. You're like, whoa. This is against the rules, I thought Michael Myers was, coming out in the middle of the night, but it's in the middle of the day. I like that kind of an ending. Again, just unforgiving as hell. And really, is kind of a story out of hell. It really is. It's so evil and death wins. Oh, Jesus.
You get the feeling that all of these fuckers are going to see each other again. Like they're all going to the same place.
Right. Yeah, right. And the terrorist group knows this even. Again, I love that we don't know their names. We just get a glimpse of them for just a moment. And they're all just boom, boom, boom. This is our job. Stab, stab, stab. And then they're on their way, right? And Park is going to die. So, and what life was he going to go back to, right? He fucked up as a dad. His daughter got kidnapped. His daughter died. He's like, apparently this, crazy rich guy, right? So what's he going to go back to, after he's murdered all these people?
Well, and he said
you can't go back. There's no way. So he said he was either going to have to go on the run or die.
He sold his company. Like he gave everything away so he could find them. Like he sacrificed everything he had left to make this happen. So yeah, his life was fucked anyway.
That was it. Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah. Kang Ho Song, I believe, is where we were at the beginning of that. But yeah, he killed it. Like literally, I thought he was fantastic. And
he's the highlight of the film for sure. As when you walk away, I don't know how to say his name properly, but Ha Kyun Shin as Ryu, stellar performance.
Yeah.
My personal favorite scene, maybe, or most entertaining, was the one where he comes in with a baseball bat and whacks that guy and then stabs the dude in the throat. Whoa. What? Because, it was a really cool tracking shot in that hallway at the apartment complex. And when he circles back around, I was like, oh my God, this is just so evil. And he, aluminum baseball bat just smacks the guy in the skull and carry on, That was a pretty brutal scene.
As evil as those people were, Ryu was a fucking idiot for getting mixed up with them in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When he got left naked after the What is it again? Kidney. Yeah.
Never, under any circumstances, no matter what culture you're in, what country you're in, never agree to back alley surgery unless you have what they promised first. I mean, 10 million, what was it? 10 million won.
Not even.
Yeah. He believed that. He was that desperate. And then the next fucking day, the doctor's like, hey, we have a donor and it's only going to cost 10 million won. The deflation on his face. God, you felt it, man. You felt it in your heart. Like, Jesus.
Yeah, just getting, Ryu is just a character who's just by default, the way he's born, and is just kind of fucked by society and neglected completely. And definitely, thank goodness he had his sister there for a minute who really cared about him, but then he fucked that up too by not telling her the truth. And that really starts the devastation of this film. Like, it really does. That's like the first, like, oh shit. Cause that's when his sister commits suicide, that's when Ryu takes her to the river, and that's when the girl dies. So it's like, that's when, like, oh Jesus, that's when it all kind of starts. And it's just, at that point, it's just death every like 10 minutes.
Other than the little girl drowning, which is easily the most horrific moment of the movie, for me, it's when Ryu comes home and the little girl's watching cartoons and he just sits on the floor with her and she's just like, oh, I had to give you this.
Like, it's a note.
And he reads the note and it says, like, please give her back. These are my these are my final wishes. And he just like jumps up and goes to the bathroom. I was like, oh my God. After everything he did for her, all of this was to save her. She kills herself. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and he lets out. I brought this up on Oscar Sunday from Boys Town when Mickey Rooney does the kind of when a character just drops for a minute and kind of is like kind of reflects on the situation itself and how fucked they are and how bad it sucks. And that's definitely what's happening here with the character of Ryu is kind of like, do I hold my sister? She's here in the bathtub, and he just kind of lets out, he's mute and deaf, but he lets out this kind of, weird shriek that is so effective and starts the movie. It turns the movie into something different and much darker from that point on.
I don't know what it is about. This might just be me, but I don't think it is. There is something about an actor reacting to death.
Yes.
That really, for me, defines their performance. Like the way
100%.
I don't know why, but there's just something, every movie I've ever seen where, somebody close to the character dies, they see it happen, and their, sobbing reaction to it, for me, is the just most powerful an actor can be.
Yeah.
Sometimes, some are amazing at it, some fucking suck at it. This kid was really good, and so was Kang Ho Song.
Jesus, man. Yeah, that's definitely, if you can show that you can shine in that moment, that kind of a moment, my favorite movie ever, Magnolia. It features one of the best father-son moments where the father is dying, and Tom Cruise, Frank T.J. Mackey's character, that character is, and Tom Cruise goes to just way different places than I, knew he could or knew that any actor really could go. And it is definitely that. I mean, death, when you're confronted with death and someone being gone forever, and that's it. There's no more conversations. There's no more closure. That's it. It's over. It's a fucking crazy thing to battle with in your own mind about how you're going to leave Earth. You're like, okay, well, one day I'm going to leave Earth. I want to do all I can while I'm here, and contribute to society and be a good person. But then you think about the people that you're close to leaving, and you're like, I don't want them to go. I'm okay with going, but I don't want them to leave. And the people that you're friends with and look up to and inspire you, or I mean, your children, your siblings. I mean, that's it, right? That's the stuff that keeps you moving. So if you can't imagine that being next to you, then you're kind of like, I don't know how to do this. And it is for sure one of the best ways to set up a movie. And set up any kind of story, not just a movie, but whether it be a book or whatever it may be. When you're dealing with death, and specifically within a family, it's huge, and it's one of the most impactful things you can do in cinema.
Absolutely, man. Well said. And after seeing a good chunk of his performances at this point, I'm very surprised Kang Ho Song hasn't broken into Hollywood.
Yeah, that's definitely something I've like tried to look up some stuff about him. Like, what's the deal here? I think he likes where he's at. I think he likes the niche he's in. And
He's
fair enough.
He's in a good spot. He's arguably probably most Korea's most famous actor. He's the fucking George Clooney of South Korea. Most likely.
especially here in the western part of the world. Yeah, for sure the most well known. And Parasite just kind of capped that. Like, oh yeah, he's incredible. And I thought it was a damn shame he wasn't nominated for. I would think best supporting actor would be his lane. And I just thought he was lights out in that movie.
You know what? Maybe we'll see some kind of Western appearance from him in the next few years. I hope so. But if not, he's definitely found his groove. He's killing it over there. And I just look forward to seeing more from him.
Yeah, I agree. He worked alongside Chris Evans and Tilda Swinton very, very well in Snowpiercer. So I don't think it's a challenge at all as far as language barrier or anything like that. He'll be okay.
Yes, indeed. So Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance has an IMDb score of 7.6, a Rotten Tomatoes score of only 54%. It only grossed a little under $2 million US and was a commercial failure in Korea at the time. It's since been reevaluated and embraced as a cult hit, and it is available on the Criterion channel along with Lady Vengeance if you do want to watch it. And let's talk about some of our favorite moments of the movie. I know we've already covered a few, but there is a lot of this film to dig into. And let's do it.
Yeah, man. The beginning is, a table setter, and I, for one, love the bit where he's hitting the baseballs. It's the machine pitcher.
Yeah.
And it's just going at him. And he keeps just whacking it. I love that sound. And I thought the sound editing in this movie was just fucking spot on. We already brought up that last scene with the stabs, but it's the whole film altogether. You have a scene of Achilles tendons getting sliced. You have a scene of electrocution. You have, all these different things, and it's dealing with a deaf and mute character. So I just found that all to be fascinating.
I love the way they tell you that the kid is deaf. First, you've got that, recorded message he does for his sister. And then you got the doctor kind of like yelling at him. Where at first I'm like, geez, this doctor's very rude. But then I'm like, no, wait, he's deaf. It was a smart way to do it.
Yes.
One thing I do want to point out. So Ryu has a very distinctive look. He's got green, kind of a bluish green hairstyle. And I felt like if you're going to kidnap a little girl, you either need to blindfold her the whole time or you need to dye your hair. Because the second she comes back, he's going to go to the cops and be like, somebody kidnapped my daughter. And they're going to talk to her like, what did they look like? And the first thing she's going to say is one of them had green hair.
Yeah. I agree. Or at least I would just shave it. Give yourself a buzz cut.
Yeah. Wear a hat, something. But don't, just let this little girl see what you look like the whole time. But, I think that just proves that they were not prepared for this. They were not ready to kidnap somebody. They'd never done it before. They didn't want to do it. They felt they had to do it. And that lack of preparation just leads to just absolute devastation. Let's talk about the mentally handicapped guy at the river.
Okay, yeah, that's a strong performance. Yeah.
That is such an odd inclusion. To have this guy with palsy just walking around the river looking for shiny things. But
why not? I like unhinged stuff like that where because no matter what's happening with our main characters, that guy's there. And you kind of have to keep your eye on him because you're like, what is that fucker doing? And it reminded me a lot of Boogie Nights when you go to Alfred Molina's house and there's that character throwing the firecrackers at the ground. Bah! And, Mark Wahlberg and John C. Reilly, they're, bouncing back and trying to, essentially they're about to steal cocaine. I love when something on the screen is just there for no fucking reason at all. We have no idea why, but it's unsettling. So you have to keep your eye on it. It's like, it's amazing. And that's kind of, I love that part of cinema because you can't look away. You can't look at your phone. You can't look at anything else. You're like, shit, what's that one random guy going to do? Even if it's nothing, You got to keep your eye on it.
But in that scene, you get this vibe that something bad is going to happen.
Oh, no, unquestionably, yeah.
And that guy just goes a long way towards it. He's just, the way he's like, he scares the shit out of a little girl, and that leads to her freaking out and running for Ryu, and she falls in the river and drowns. And he doesn't jump in to save her because he thinks the water's deep, but it's not, because he hasn't been there since he was a kid. It's so sad.
Oh, man. Yeah, while he's burying his sister.
Why was he doing that?
That's the place they like played it around as kids, so he just wanted to do that for her, but man, turned into a really dark river. Yeah.
My God. Oof.
I mean, we could go anywhere. I think every scene is worth talking about. I think. Let's see. How about? I want to talk a bit about the cinematography in the first half of the film, because I do think it's trying to do something that I think critics have missed completely.
Okay.
And I think it's something that Parasite did really well. And I think it's something that I like about films. Something that Waves did really well, that you just watched recently, is allow you to, as the viewer, because of the length of the film, when you're around 2 hours or more, you can kind of play with tones. And that's usually due to how the camera's working, and usually due to the cinematographer. And I think in this film, I would say it's the first, again, I think it's before the suicide. And I think the first 40 minutes of cinematography are different than the last hour and 20 or so, where I think it's more wide shots, more observant, more, letting you feel how you want to feel about Ryu. And then the latter half of the film is very, again, kind of like John Wick, kind of, up close action, because of now our main character now is Park, and we're following him, and we're on his journey of vengeance. And I think that's something that critics have missed, is that takes a lot of skill to do that within a 2-hour frame. It's possible, but it's hard to do, to tonally shift your movie completely in an effective way, and to do it in a very, very dark way in this case. Sometimes a film will open up real dark to hey, this is where we're at. And then it doesn't have a way to capture that again later in the film. But in this case, it leads up to this. It has this kind of slow build, similar to Audition. Boom, just like bam, 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 build. And I really, really appreciated that. I think the critics are just so wrong on this one. I don't think it's this, B-grade movie that is just like, scary stuff thriller. I actually think it's a really well done, well crafted piece of cinema that should be reevaluated.
Well, the Criterion Collection thought the same. That's why it's there.
For a reason. There's films I've watched in there where I'm like, oh, okay, it's on here for whatever they need to fill some slots. And I've watched some not weak films on there, but some that I'm like, oh, they don't seem like they belong to me. But this one, I get it. I totally get it. They see something in it. We do too. It's a fucking, again, it's a well-crafted piece of work.
I admire any director who can successfully combine tones, because it's so difficult to do, and so many directors fuck it up.
Yeah. Oh, all the time. The devil all the time. Had no idea to me at times, like, what tone are we? And it's like, but you're not Pulp Fiction, so you can't be 2.5 hours. You're not that interesting. and then, but you like aspects of it. You like performances in it, but you want it to kind of go there. And this movie totally knew what it was doing the whole time. And I respect the shit out of that.
Absolutely. Like, we talked about Parasite a little earlier. I think that film may be the best example of combining tones, of the past 20 years. That film is, it starts out as a drama, becomes a comedy, evolves into a thriller, and finishes off as a horror movie.
Yeah, it really does. It does like 4 gear switches. Yeah.
And it all works.
And it's not easy. It's not easy to transition that. It's not easy to get actors who can do it all. And it's not easy to find the right amount of time to where it makes sense and have the right ending. And yeah, I just appreciate when films do it right.
Totally, man. That's a great observation. Yeah, this movie absolutely accomplishes that. And I mean, I love how dark it does go, because it starts off as kind of a drama with a little bit of optimism in it. Like, hey, she's dying, but it's fixable. They can save her. Maybe this will work out. But it turns into full blown, like, you get what you fucking pay for. And, you're going to go this route. It's going to bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
I mean, we see Park, the way he tortures Ryu's girl is really disturbing to me. Something about that really fucked me up. It was just, the electrodes on the ear and just like throwing a blanket over her, hitting charge and walking away.
It's the little things that he does with all of that. The licking her ear. Oof. Jesus Christ, Kang Ho song. Woo!
I hope to God that was in the script.
That's some evil shit. He licks both the ears, and I thought the darkest part of the movie, where it was like, for him, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of parts that are dark, but for him, where he's like, I don't give a fuck, is when she pees and he puts the blanket on it while he's eating. And then when he gets back up, throws the blanket back on her with the piss on it. Like, fuck you. And it is like, wow, that is, the audacity to put that on screen. Like, he's treating her like a piece of filth. Like, you fucked with my kid. This is what you get. And it is super dark. And when I saw that, I was like, oh man, like, he just really doesn't care. He does not care. He's gonna, and when she's saying 100% you're gonna die because this, he just continues looking at a picture and charge again, baby. Like, he's like in that mindset of like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Well, and he, as well as us, thinks she's completely full of shit when she says that. Who would believe if you kill me, my terrorist organization is gonna fuck you up? That is the most empty threat ever. But it's fully accurate.
Because of the movies we watch, I might believe it for a minute.
Fair enough. But even like with her, we see earlier when they investigate the crime scene at the organ donor place, they see her flyers and they're like, oh, it's an organization of just her. There's nothing to worry about here. That's what I thought they were telling us, that as a way to know her threat was empty. But it wasn't. I still can't fucking believe that they really did show up and kill him because of that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Good Lord.
The scene that really got me, because it was so fucking like, there was such a lack of empathy, was right after they find the little girl's body and Park is in the ambulance or in the truck, in the police car, talking to the cop.
Yeah.
And he gets a phone call and goes out to talk to his wife. And he's saying something like, it's going to be okay. Hey, at least our kid wasn't murdered. And Park's right there. He can hear him.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, man. Jesus, have some, decorum. I couldn't believe that. Like, I thought Park was going to walk out there and deck him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Jesus.
There's just, you get the vibe that nobody cares about anything beyond themselves in this movie until like something horrible happens to them.
Yeah.
It's, Jesus. Yeah.
Can't look away. You just can't. Yeah. You just can't look away. It's incredible.
Truly. Anything else you'd like to mention from this one?
No, I just think it's funny. I've read some reviews, like here and there about this movie after watching it. And it's just funny when, like, here's one that I kind of marked. This one that was from Entertainment Weekly, Owen Gleiberman, back when this movie came out in 2002. And here's just a snippet of it. He said, so badly told that it ends up dissecting a corruption that exudes from nowhere but itself. You're like, why'd you even watch it? Like, what? Didn't you tell? Like, yeah, this probably isn't up my alley. Like, just don't watch it. You already went into it thinking like, these are not my kind of movies. Don't watch it. Here's another one. This guy gave it a 10 out of 100. Slowly degenerates into a gory revenge thriller that is never thrilling, but is often boring and frequently repulsive. Yeah, repulsive. Of course, like, don't watch the movie. I don't understand. And I just think when in context, watch this movie and take what you want from it, but you do have to be aware. And I just can't stand when people watch movies and write reviews for them like they already fucking decided that they don't like it. That's so stupid.
People who think like that, people who review movies they already don't like of a genre they don't like. It's like someone going to a burger joint and being upset because their tacos aren't good. Like,
yes. Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get that mentality.
There's genres that I'm not, super excited about. Like if I write a review for a musical, if I write if I write 10 musical reviews and 10, horror reviews, I'm probably going to like more of the horror movies just because that's my taste, but I'm still going to be open to those other ones. And I'm not going to just go into them thinking this is stupid as shit. I mean, we've watched some films for Oscar Sunday that I never thought I would watch. And then I've taken something out of them because I put my fucking walls down and watched the movie. Jesus.
It's tough to go there though. I understand having that mindset of like, I fucking hate this genre. Why am I here? Because that's exactly how I feel about rom-coms.
Yeah, and you got to give them that chance. You got to give them that chance because there's those gems out there for everybody. Like even if you don't like horror, there's going to be those horror movies that you will like because maybe they're, oh, I really like the drama from it. Like I know Hereditary connected with a lot of fans of, fans that aren't, totally in with horror. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It connected with, a drama crowd. My dad went and saw it and he's not really a big horror fan, but he loves Toni Collette, Gabrielle Byrne, and thought it was a fantastic film. So it can do that. There's those gems for people. I wish people wouldn't go into them knowing already and write this review 10 out of 100. What the fuck?
Yeah. Hereditary is another film that I think was, masterful at balancing two different tones. You had, the drama side with the family and then the horror of the demons worked so well together. And it is a solid drama. You take the demons out of that movie, it's just as terrifying.
Yeah, you just wait. One day that'll be the shining of our generation. You just wait.
That is high praise. Damn. But yeah, I think it is important to turn off your walls when you're watching film that's outside your comfort zone. It's not easy, but it must be done, or else, you go in expecting something to suck. That sour mood is going to affect your judgment. I know, I've fucking been there. So it's really tough. Thankfully, these podcasts have given me the opportunity to kind of coach myself into doing that. And it's been good. I'm getting better at that.
Yeah. And I think we've even, disliked some films and whatever, given them 4, 5s, 6s, maybe, whatever it may be. But that's not what I'm saying. That's not really my point. My point is you can clearly tell when a guy is giving a movie, essentially a 1 out of 10. He didn't give it a chance.
I think the simple lesson here is you should never hate or love a movie before you watch it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, let the movie do the talking.
Yeah, and sometimes your judgment will be probably a little bit correct, but most of the time you should do the work yourself.
I agree. Like I don't do this. Like I try to do this a lot. It's not easy, but I try not to look at a film's Rotten Tomatoes score or IMDb score before I've, finished it, because that's gonna affect my opinion of the film.
Yes, yeah, I agree with you, especially with a film like this that I don't know much about. Now, if say I hadn't seen like one of the Wes Anderson movies, right? Like I just haven't seen Life Aquatic. It's not gonna hurt to see that it has a 7.7 or whatever on IMDb, because I know what I'm going into. But I totally agree with you. It's a film, especially a new film, like a 2020 film or something that you don't know much about. You should try to go in blind. Try to go in with like just a little bit of knowledge. Obviously, you want to know the rating so that, if you don't like R-rated movies, that's your thing. Then
definitely
don't watch.
Yeah.
Yes, but like as far as plot and actual story, try to go in blind. And when you're like us and we just are desensitized as fuck and have no barriers, we just go into complete blind. We don't give a shit.
Well, I did not expect, like when I saw this movie, I watched Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance last night and I thought that was really good. And then I looked at the scores and I'm like 54. I never would have called that. Never would have thought that.
Me too. I was like, what? I mean, 7.6 on IMDb makes sense. Okay, that's decent. That's fine.
Yeah,
but yeah, then when I looked at the Metascore and the Rotten Tomatoes, I was like 55, 54. What the hell? Like the audience doesn't like it and this and that. And I looked some stuff up and read some reviews that were just kind of dogging it. And I was like, they totally missed this movie. They didn't even watch it. They weren't watching the same thing as me.
It's weird. Weird how we can watch the same movie, come away with completely different mindsets on it. But that happens a lot, especially on Filmgazm, because we like weird shit. We like horror films. We like Korean thrillers, and we're gonna continue to give this stuff the time of day.
Yeah, 100%. This and when we did Itchy the Killer, it only makes me want to do them more. And it only makes me, if we were to make hand picks more often, I'd fucking hand pick foreign films left and right, because just I want to learn more. I want to see more shit. And hats off to Criterion for adding a really cool amount of horror stuff and genre stuff in October for obviously for Halloween and the season. 'Tis the season here at Filmgazm.
Hell yeah! And from here on out, the rest of our October picks are classic horror movies, and it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Oh my God. The next three are kind of like Titan type titles of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Gonna be a lot of fun.
Hell yeah. So with that, let's talk about some Filmgazm facts for Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. Number 1, this is the first film in history to have a sex scene that includes sign language.
Hell yeah.
Weird,
cool.
But all right, cool.
I'm down with it. You know me, I don't give a shit. Whether it's horror or I've watched movies that have crazy drug intake since I was 15 or 14, whatever. Like I also look at sexual scenes in the same way. I really like a lot of movies that kind of go there in that realm, and I thought that scene was really fascinating. And I didn't think about, is this the first time I've ever seen this? But that's really cool.
Yeah, apparently it was the first time you'd ever seen that.
That's great. It's wonderful. Good
Number
for
2.
Ryu.
Yeah, cool. In an interview, Ha-Kyun Shin, Ryu, said that in the scene where Park kills Ryu, the beating was actually real because the filmmakers were not able to use special effects. That is some fucking dedication.
Jesus.
Take a hardcore revenge beating for the love of the game. Damn.
God damn.
They couldn't shoot the poster for the film the next day because his face was still swollen. And Kang Ho Song invited him for a drink as an apology.
Good Lord, man.
That's amazing. God, if that happened in an American film, there would be inquests. There would be a fucking trial. They would never work in this town again. All that shit. But in Korea, it's like, well, it's Wednesday and we can't do special effects. So kick the shit out of him.
Yeah, go to town. Go to town, buddy.
Oh, my God. Number 3, Kang Ho Song shouted for 3 days to break his voice in order to sound more authentic and tired for the scene where he's screaming for help through the black plastic bag. And how fucking weird was that? Just screaming for help.
Images.
Yeah.
Images. God.
He screamed for 3 days to get his voice to sound tired. Dedication.
Just for that part, yeah.
And number 4, in January 2010, Warner Brothers acquired the rights for an American remake of this film, but it has yet to happen. So this has been in production hell for 10 years now, and I doubt that Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance will ever be remade in America because, frankly, it just wouldn't work.
No, I honestly can't even make a guess at what director, what screenwriter, what actors would be in this. I have no idea.
Well, we saw Spike Lee take on Old Boy, and that didn't exactly work out well, did it?
No.
Some movies don't translate to America. They just don't.
No, well, no, especially like that one just doesn't have the grit. Like, what are we doing? If you can't bring that over, then fuck it.
Yeah. So I give this film an 8. It's a wild ride with interesting, morally gray characters and some unforgettable imagery. I think it's great.
Yeah, I give it a 9. I'm definitely going to revisit it. I'll probably try to fucking find it online, try to buy this one. Super Super hyped that it's on Criterion along with Lady Vengeance. I'm going to check that one out soon and continue to watch a bunch of new horror movies that I haven't seen before. It's been a lot of fun, man.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I love when the book takes us to new territory.
Yeah.
And while this wasn't technically new territory, it's still unfamiliar enough for me to be excited about it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, untapped kind of, sort of like, oh, we got to continue to tap on it.
Exactly. So to close out this week's show, we're going to do a 2002 movie draft where we each pick and choose a number of films from a list of every 2002 movie we've both seen.
Yes.
Yeah. Then we'll decide on the winner based on who we believe has the tighter list. It's a chance to spotlight some of our favorite films of that year.
Yeah.
And, we've both seen a lot from 2002.
Yeah, it's a hefty list here, very random. Lots of IP here. We got some Harry Potters, we got some Lord of the Rings, we got some Spider-Mans, we got some Scooby-Doos, we got some Star Wars. Yeah, it's all over the place. It's great.
Oh boy. Well, I'll go ahead and read out the films that we're going to use.
All right.
I believe I took out all the ones that you said you hadn't seen. So I think we have a good list here. We have, and in no specific order, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, Red Dragon, Spider-Man, Catch Me If You Can, Scooby-Doo, City of God, The Pianist, Gangs of New York, Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, The Count of Monte Cristo, Insomnia, The Bourne Identity, Resident Evil, 28 Days Later, Chicago, Signs, The Ring, Ice Age, Die Another Day, 8 Mile, Lilo and Stitch, Men in Black 2, Road to Perdition, Austin Powers Goldmember, Van Wilder, Equilibrium, Punch Drunk Love, 25th Hour, Blade 2, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, The Scorpion King, The Transporter, Cabin Fever, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, Halloween Resurrection, Undercover Brother, Big Fat Liar, Spy Kids 2, Island of Lost Dreams, The Master of Disguise, Kung Pao Enter the Fist, Orange County, The Santa Claus 2, and Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance.
Whew.
So how many are we going to draw?
I say 5 is a good one. Good way to keep it tight, keep it concise, keep it competitive. And if you want to start this one off, man, you can.
All right. So there's a lot of franchise films in this list. There's a lot of big ones from franchises I adore.
Yes.
But I want The Count of Monte Cristo.
Holy Lord Almighty. Okay.
That is one of my favorite films of all time.
I know you had it in your top 10 of the decade.
And yeah, there's no way I was walking out of this without that film. So
go ahead. I think you could have saved it. I'm going to take Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers.
Yep, I knew. All yours. As much as I love the Lord of the Rings franchise, The Two Towers is the one I like the least.
It's still a 10.
It's still a 10, but it's the one I like the least.
That's funny. It's like if like LeBron James has a bad game, he still had 25 points, 10 rebounds, All right, your second pick, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to take 28 Days Later.
Yeah, good pick. That's a 10. That's another 10 right there. Awesome film.
Great episode. That was fun. We talked about that one on the show.
I dig it. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and take another classic. Go ahead and steal the Martin Scorsese Gangs of New York.
Very nice. Oh, yeah, that's a great film. That's another one we've done on the show.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that's partly why I took it. We've got context.
Yes, indeed. There are some classics here. I'm going to take Road to Perdition.
Yeah, that's a great one, right? I'd say that's a solid 9 for me. I would love to do that on the show.
Yes, indeed. That's one that could go on either show because that's just such a fantastic film. I think 4 Oscar nominations.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Great pick. We got a tight race here, I would say. Fuck it. I gotta go because this movie is. I'll talk about it a bit before. Is one of the first PG-13 movies I got to see as a kid, and it's still something I put on when I'm like feeling kind of whether it be isolated mentally or in a strange place, especially this year, 2020. I've thrown it on so many times during this year just because it makes me feel comfortable, makes me feel at home. That's fucking Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Well done. Yeah, that's a classic. As good as the MCU has been with Spider-Man, there's something about those first two Raimi films I keep coming back to.
Yeah.
Beautiful choice. I'm going to go a similar route. One of the films that scared the absolute hell out of me when I was a kid. There's a certain scene there where a certain character actor we both love gets his tongue bitten off and set on fire. Scared the absolute fuck out of me. I was like 8. I was not expecting that. Red Dragon. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So good. Great build up there. I adore that film. Definitely was going to take it if you didn't. So I was going to take that one with my 5th if you didn't. Putting me in a tough spot here. I have a feeling this is going to be very hard to figure out a winner. I'm going to try to put you on the ropes here. Let's go. I actually don't know how you feel about this one, so this actually might be a bit of a risk, but I think it's a 10 out of 10. I haven't written a review for it, but if I did, I'd give it a 10. That's City of God. Okay,
yeah. All right. I watched that movie for the first time a few months ago, and I thought it was fantastic. Great foreign film, great drama, crime drama. I liked it a lot. I wasn't quite a 10. I gave it an 8, but solid flick for sure.
Rewatch it. You might feel differently. It's a powerful rewatch.
Cool. What do we get?
Last one here.
I'm going to go with another film that scared the almighty hell out of me as a child. Apparently 2002 was not my year. Signs.
Oh yeah. So good.
Signs scared me so bad. I couldn't watch it for years. It took eventually my uncle and his girlfriend at the time watching it to finally have convinced me to watch it without my eyes closed. So just that one scene with the fucking alien walking to the birthday party. I can't get over that.
Yeah, I love it. And with that, I think you got me on this one, especially with this last pick. I have to pick it because it's my favorite movie on this entire sheet. Paul Thomas Anderson's Punch Drunk Love.
Yep, I was wondering when you were going to get to that.
Well, I knew you weren't going to take it, which is why this is so interesting, right? Is that I would love to do these drafts and have people vote on it on Twitter and just have people follow. But when we're deciding between the two of us, I just think I have Punch Drunk, which is an 8 for you, right?
Yeah.
City of God, which is an 8 for you.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, what is that for you?
That's an 8. I think.
Gangs of New York.
That's a 9.
And then Lord of the Rings, 10. So yeah, I think on my end, you don't love my group as much as I love yours.
Well, I've got the Count of Monte Cristo.
Yes.
10 for me. 28
9
Days
for
Later,
me. 10. Yeah. 10.
Road to Perdition, a 9.
9.
Red Dragon, an 8.
I'd also give it a strong 8, maybe even a 9.
And Signs, an 8.
Oh, strong 8. Yeah. This is a good little matchup. I mean, we left off, some bangers here. I would say the one that I thought about the most was Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. I thought about The Bourne Identity. I actually love of all the Bourne movies. That's probably my favorite. I know you're not a huge fan, so I didn't feel like drafting that one.
I prefer The Bourne Supremacy. I
like that one a lot too. Lilo and Stitch, I would give a 9. I adore that. That's one of my favorite Disney films of all time. Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo is fun.
It is fun.
I refuse to be a snob. I like Scooby-Doo.
You know what else is fun? Catch Me If You Can. Fun movie.
That is a great movie. See Leo versus Tom. Hell yeah, absolutely.
This is my least favorite Harry Potter movie, Chamber of Secrets.
Fair enough. It's not. I love it, but you know what? I've seen it so many times.
I love it too, but I've seen it so many times. There's not enough nuance there to put it right here in these fives. These group of 5 movies. I mean, Lord of the Rings, you could say the same thing, but that's just a 10 through and through. I see it as a borderline masterpiece. All 3 of those.
And then I think Attack of the Clones is the worst Star Wars movie, so there's no way.
Oh yeah, we weren't going near that. Yeah. Plus, why would you draft that? I'm gonna make fun of you if you draft it. So.
Yeah, you don't care for Star Wars, and I've lost my taste for it, admittedly.
And maybe one day, if we can get a big following here and we can get people to vote on it, then maybe it'd be valuable to draft Star Wars because people like Star Wars. But
yeah,
between you and I, we're trying to make impressive groups for each other, and I think you edged me out on this one.
Fair enough. I'll take it. I'll take the victory.
The Punch Drunk Love, I had to take it, even though I know you're not like, you like it, but you're not crazy about it. Orange County, I love Orange County.
That's a great movie. I was very close to taking Chicago. I really like Chicago.
The Best Picture winner from this year, of course. Yeah, I was going to bring that one up. It is a very strong movie. Richard Gere is great in it.
It's a good one. We might want to. Well, not now, but eventually on Oscar Sunday. Chicago's a great movie.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, we like to bounce around in different decades, so whenever we get to the 2000s again, we can talk about Chicago.
Sweet. All right, yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I love doing these. These are cool.
Yeah, it's fun. The brackets are fun. I had a blast recasting the main characters of Antebellum.
That was fun.
And obviously, with a Korean film, it's going to be a little harder because we don't have as much, to go off of, as much reference. Yeah. But maybe next week we can.
Maybe. Let's see. What are we doing next week? All right. So next week we're discussing a film that's a horror classic in two ways. One.
Yeah.
It's a celebrated modern horror movie that spawned a franchise that is still churning out films. It's got one that was supposed to come out this year, instead coming out next year. Second, it's an early episode of the Filmgazm podcast that I did solo, and we're redoing it together as our way of opening our Halloween lineup. Two men from two different worlds wake up chained to the wall of a dirty bathroom. There are clues abound as to why they are there and why they've been chosen as players in a sick, demented killer's game. It's the film that started the torture porn subgenre and remains one of the most significant horror films of the 2000s, a true classic, 2004's Saw.
Let's go.
Going back to the beginning. Our plan is to redo every episode that I did by myself in the early days, give them the full Filmgazm treatment. Yeah. We've done The Shining, and now it's time for Saw. Can't wait. Looking forward to this one for months.
Yeah, they're all the ones you did are movies I definitely want to give some input on, and we're not going to do them all. We'll space them out, right? We did Shining quite a bit ago, so yeah, we'll space them out, have some fun with it. The Shining was kind of our thing, as like, oh, we've been doing this for a year, and Saw it's fucking October, so let's do it.
Yeah, for years, October has been, we knew it was Halloween because there was a fucking Saw movie out. There's a big deal for 10 years. Beautiful. That's exciting. What we did with the ones that I did solo, just the easiest way was we just threw them back in the book, and we'll draw them when the time comes.
Yeah, exactly. They'll come back up when they need to, and just like with Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, they'll come around when we're ready.
Exactly. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to subscribe to this podcast on your listening platform or to our Filmgazm Productions YouTube channel, where you can find every episode of Filmgazm and Oscar Sunday. We are tackling 5 easy pieces this Sunday, so check that out.
Yes.
You'll be able to see whatever we've got planned for the future. Suffice it to say, 2020 was nobody's year, but 2021 is going to be ours. Can't wait.
Hell yeah.
And we love feedback of all kinds. We love starting a dialogue about movies. So if there's something you want us to know or just like what we do, drop us a line on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. You can email us at filmgazm@gmail.com and we'll get back to you.
Hell yeah.
And until next week, remember that kidnapping a little girl is never a good idea. Even if you think no one will get hurt, you're wrong. Someone always gets hurt. Vengeance. What's the term? He who commits vengeance, be prepared to dig 2 graves.
Yes.
Yeah, or something. I know I butchered the fuck out of that, but I don't care. See you next week.
Peace.